if Indiana does win the series, what's going to be the story? Like, what went wrong for OKC? What went right for Indiana if indeed the Pacers are the one hoisting the Larry O'Brien trophy?
I think it'll come down to what went right would be just obviously the Pacers will have put in a strategy. Like for me, my one suggestion in terms of, and I don't think it's a good one. So don't anybody go like you're crazy. I think you're in a situation, you have to deal with it. But my one suggestion is let SGA score and try to cover everybody else because it's just too hard, right? You can't take everything away. Shai's going to get his 30 points minimum, regardless what you do. So, hey, let's just do a better job of covering everybody else. Make it so that Jalen Williams isn't getting clean looks. Make it so that Chet Holmgren's not getting clean looks. Let's take away the big-to-big passing between Hartenstein and Chet. Let's try to make them have to really work on offense beyond SGA. And I think that's going to be the thing that we look at. But the other thing we're going to talk about is that the Pacers will have found a way to gash this defense. And that's going to be unbelievably hard. And I think it's got to be a mix of everything. They got to find ways to get transition points. They got to create turnovers for a team that's a low turnover team, much like themselves, and then get out in transition. That'll allow them to set up their defense and create opportunities for them to sort of get stops. Because it's just going to come down to that, Kevin. Like if they're going to be able to get stops, they're going to be able to get fast break buckets. And from that, they'll be able to kind of their fast paced game will be the problem for the Thunder.
Well, your note about letting SGA score, they did a lot of that in the regular season. Maybe not purposely, but
they didn't stop anybody else. That was the other
thing. That's true. But game one, Indiana OKC back in December, SGA had 45 points, 8 assists, only 1 turnover in that game. And then in game 2, he had 33 points on 23 shots, 8 assists, and 0 turnovers. That game was on March 29th. So SGA had 2 dominant performances against Indiana.
But the key there was 8 assists in both of those games, right?
Mm-hmm. If you and only 1 turnover total, only 1.
Yeah, if you can knock that down to like 2 or 3 assists, right? It's kind of the Jokic treatment a little bit, right? Let's just turn SGA into a scorer because you know what? We're not going to stop him scoring regardlessly. Like regardlessly, I don't know if that's a word. Regardless, like you're not going to
make it a word. They're changing the dictionary all the time, Mo. We can make it a word.
Why not? But you're not going to be able to stop him. Is really my point. So don't try. And I don't mean like don't try as in don't get in. Just let him have free runs to the rim. Obviously, defend him and work hard. But at the same time, put your focus on the others. Like this is the thing that really sunk Minnesota in that game 4, right? They were loading up on SGA and trying to get out to the shooters and whatnot. And guys like Jalen Williams hit shots, Chet hit shots. Everybody was making their shots. They were trying to take away everything. You cannot do that. You have to pick your poison, and you got to see if it's something you can live with. And I honestly think just with how good this Thunder team is, and by the way, that might not work. Jalen Williams can ball, right? Like they can create a lot of problems for you, him as a secondary guy.
Oh, man.
But you got to pick
so much better. So much better, Mo.
Like I just don't know. Like my other thought would be, okay, we're going to focus all our attention on SGA. But if you do that, those other guys will beat you. They have enough offensive firepower on that perimeter. But can you make it a situation where SGA is going to be scoring 40, 50 points, but the other guys are getting, 6, 7 points below their average? They got a 30-point scorer in SGA, a 20-point scorer in Jalen, and Chet's around 16, right, throughout the playoffs. And then everybody else is in single digits. If you can knock down Williams 5 points, if you can knock down Chet 5 points, there's going to be a trickle effect in all of that. And I think it ain't easy. I'm glad I don't have to do it, but it's probably the one thing I would look at saying like this would be the one chance you might have.